This is a Sports Catastrophe production. Hey there, how there, ho there. It's Jeff Cutter Diamond welcoming you to another Sports Catastrophe birthday boy. And the birthday boy for today, November the 1st, is a bad boy. He is the third highest penalty minute leader in the NHL history. Surprisingly, it's not number one, but he is. He has 333 fighting majors, the most in NHL history. He's an enforcer, a goon. He played for the Leafs, Rangers, and Jets in a 16-year career, and is the Leafs penalty minute leader. He's 53 years old today. He is Ty Domi. Ty Domi was born in Windsor, Ontario to Albanian parents. He then played a couple of years with Peterborough in the OHL, and he actually scored 22 goals in a season in which he had 292 penalty minutes. He was an enforcer, but he could score goals. Anyway, he was eligible to be drafted in the 1988 NHL draft. The Leafs had picked Scott Pearson with the 6th pick in the draft, and it looked like the Leafs were going huge and all that. However, Domi, being a right winger, wasn't really the best thing, despite the fact that Trevor Linden, who was a partial right winger, went second to the Canucks. Daniel Doré went 5th to Quebec. Big flaw, big flaw. Rod Brind'Amour was a part-time right winger who went 9th to St. Louis. Teemu Selanne went 10th overall as a right wing to the Jets. That's a giant move. People forget Selanne was a first-round pick. I forgot too. Joel Savage went to Buffalo as a right wing. Reggie Savage went to Washington. I think Joel Savage and Reggie Savage were close, but, well, Corey Koser went to Detroit. That's Joe's brother. The Leafs had the 27th pick, or the 6th pick in round 2. After some non-so-subtle picks by the other teams ahead of them, the Leafs said, screw it, we're taking Ty Domi. And they did. So people are like, wait a minute, if Domi, you said Rangers, Jets, and Leafs when he played, right? Yeah, people forget, and I think I forgot at times, that Ty Domi actually was drafted by the Leafs, but he didn't play all his career with the Leafs. He went back to Peterborough for a season, and then turned pro in the AHL with the Newmarket Saints. He played in 2 games as a Leaf in the 1990 season and got 42 penalty minutes. That's amazing. 20 penalty minutes per game. That's harsh. But in the offseason, he was sent to the New York Rangers. So the Leafs decided to trade him. Yeah, you give a 2-game trial, and I guess because he's somewhat of a goon, you trade him to the Rangers. So he was split time with the big boy team in Binghamton. He scored his first NHL goal in March 91 against the Flyers, and he actually played a full campaign with the Rangers in 92. But lost in that shuffle was the fact that Ty Domi actually wanted to go after Bob Probert for the imaginary NHL heavyweight championship. So that's what he did. He wanted that belt. I know it's an imaginary belt, but a belt's a belt. You smelt? Anyway, so Domi got the belt by beating up on Probert. Although Probert would get his own back in Detroit, so they both won a tilt at each other's rinks. Unfortunately, Commissioner John Sigler was upset, thinking that it was going to come down to a goon league and all that. Well, I can't blame him. But the Rangers weren't happy with him and traded him to the Jets. So he went to Winnipeg, the first time. In the fact, he played for Winnipeg. Domi, surprisingly, wore number 52, and Domi is famous for actually having an assist on Teemu Selanne's 54th goal of the season to break the rookie goal-scoring record, which he beat up Bossy's mark in 93. Selanne would score 76 goals that season. So Domi was a good guy for the Jets. And then just before the Jets moved to Phoenix, they traded Domi back to the Leafs. Unfortunately, though, he would be known as being a cheap shot artist, especially when he sucker punched Alf Samuelsson. He sucker punched Alf Samuelsson when he least expected it, in the face. The Rangers won that game 2-0, if you must know. Domi was given an 8-game suspension And, you know, Domi said that all deserved it because he called them dummy. And Nov was known for his cheap shot tactics. Remember the knee on Camille in the 91 playoffs? But in 98, Domi would set a Leafs record for most penalty minutes in one season with 365 penalty minutes, or one penalty minute per day of the year, if you will. Well, not hockey year, but regular year. Passing Tiger Woods' mark. Domi was still an enforcer. He could still go score goals, and he did all that. In 2001, when the Leafs were in Philadelphia, Domi was upset by an irate fan by the name of Chris Falcone. So he sprayed him with water, and Falcone still heckled him and all that. Unfortunately, the glass panel gave way and Falcone fell in the penalty box. Domi would punch Falcone several times. He was unrepentant, saying that it's nice to see the fans get involved, I guess. Fortunately for him, he got no suspension. Unfortunately, in May 2001, as the Leafs were going to beat the New Jersey Devils in the conference semifinals in Game 4, to tie the series at 2, Ty Domi was penciled in as the game's first star for scoring a pair of key goals. Unfortunately, Domi, well away from the play, threw an elbow at Scott Niedermayer's head, knocking Niedermayer unconscious. It was shocking. Domi not only lost his 3-star selection, but he would do that? Why would he do that to Niedermayer? No explanation was given why he would do that. Unfortunately, he would be suspended for the rest of the playoffs. So he was out for the rest of the conference semifinals. If the Leafs faltered and didn't go to the conference finals, then Domi would get an 8-game suspension to start the season, the next season. And so Domi's suspension was carried over to the following season because the Leafs lost Game 7 in New Jersey. I think that was the famous... No, that was 2000. Okay. I was going to say the famous game the Leafs were held to 6 shots on goal thanks to New Jersey's trap. Domi almost left the Leafs for Nashville. His rights were traded to Nashville for an 8th-round pick in June 2002. Nashville didn't sign him, so he could go back to Toronto. And in 2004, with the Leafs being injury-ridden, he put up 15 goals in one season. Domi would put up his 100th NHL goal and 1,000th career game in the 2006 season, which was his final season. Domi was not too happy with being a healthy scratch and all that. So, who would be happy with being a healthy scratch? The Leafs decided to buy out Domi's contract June 2006. He became a free agent, and with no one wanting to sign him, he retired a few months later. So, anyway, Domi actually has been in 3 films. He was in Men and Means, Mystery Alaska, and part of the sitcom Rent-A-Goalie. Never heard of that. Anyway, Domi actually accepted a spot with TSN. Unfortunately, though, it only lasted a month. Domi was part of the Battle of the Blades, CBC's answer to Dancing with the Stars. And then he's a spokesperson for Comwave with those nasty commercials. It didn't matter. Domi was involved in soccer and Canadian football because, his Albanian background. The University of Michigan actually wanted him to play soccer. Cool. He would be at a couple of preseason exhibition games as a kicker for the Argos, but that's preseason. Domi has 3 children from his marriage to his ex-wife Leanne. 2 daughters, Carlin and Avery, and son Max, who is playing in the NHL to this day, playing for the Blackhawks. Max Domi was drafted by the Coyotes and then traded away to Montreal, then to Columbus, now to Chicago. And Max Domi is a living story because Max has type 1 diabetes, which is not that easy to do and play sports at the same time. Ty Domi's marriage ended in 2006 because of his affairs with Belinda Stronach, which is weird because a few days ago I did the birthday boy about Johan Olaf Koss and the fact he was linked to Stronach. Anyway, he would marry someone in 2017 and all that. Anyway, yeah, Ty Domi was known for his strangeness. He put up 104 goals in his NHL career, 1,020 regular season games, 245 points, 3,515 penalty minutes. And be thinking he's number one. No, he's not number one. He's behind Tiger Williams, and I don't know who he's behind because I can't recall that. Oh, Dale Hunter. So Tiger has 3,971 penalty minutes in his career. Dale Hunter's second with 3,565, and then Domi 3,515. Ahead of Martin McSorley, Bob Probert, Rob Ray, Craig Berube, there, Chris Nyland, and a few others. So yeah. And the funny thing is, of the players with 2,000 penalty minutes, not one player is a current active player. It shows you how much Goonery has been taken out of the game. Domi scored 7 playoff goals in 98 games and all that. So, yeah, Domi did his best. He was big and all that. And another fact about Max Domi is that, one time when Max Domi was in juniors with London, me and my buddy Bill Lang got tickets to see the Rangers Knights game in Kitchener. And we were heckling him saying, Domi, Domi. It was fun. It was actually weird and all that. But, such is life being a Kitchener Rangers fan. And they're doing quite well right now. We can only hope. Anyway, I'm Jeff Dominadu.